I guess she was coming at Erica Kirk, and I don't know. Then there was like underground tunnels, and I'm like, you were just going on too many tangents for me. I'm gonna react to her claims. And I don't know. I just see her on Twitter. I think sometimes these people get like God complexes. They're just told they're awesome too much, where they just kind of it just builds their ego, and I can just tell she's got a big ego.
Ads from the police, from the White House, even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no, I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio.
Yeah, to be honest, that actually makes perfect sense to me. Look, this is the information I've gotten from behind the scenes in this industry. I was told that Charlie was warned before he died that something like this could happen, right? I was told that people in the end, maybe not close to him, but other people doing similar things that he has done have said that it's very dangerous what he's doing. And kind of just seeing the way Charlie went about things. And I would say the attitude in the industry as a whole is that no one's really going to do anything. I think that's why it was such a shock when he got shot, because nothing like this has happened before. But I don't think Charlie made it that hard to shoot him, if I'm being honest, because I don't think he was overly precautious. People had told him not to like do the Coliseum type event, with because it's just very hard to protect someone from all angles. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents. I think that Charlie was a little bit careless and it cost him his life. That's because when you are attacking a mentally ill group of people like trans people, I mean, they do crazy things. So,
hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll.
Yeah,
right?
And she's trying to frame it as crazy, but to me, it makes perfect sense. I think her like going on all these different tangents, like first it was the Jays who did it, then it was, now I guess she was coming at Erica Kirk, and I don't know. Then there was like underground tunnels, and I'm like, you were just going on too many tangents for me.
No. Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I gotta be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture, but maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply, to use an expression, had his wits about him. And JFK had a plan. Like in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world, JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code.
Amazing. Amazing. So on September 14th, we were made aware of this succession plan. And I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin, many others, that a video from September 10th has gone pretty viral. Okay, so let's take a look at this. It's a video of course, Pastor Rob McCoy's son. His name is Mike McCoy. And you're going to see what he does, not in the seconds following Charlie getting shot, but in less than 1 second after Charlie gets shot. These are not seconds, less than 1 second. You're going to watch what Michael McCoy does. First, let's hear his daddy's version of the events. Take it away, Pastor McCoy.
As a father, I want to protect my son. And I thought, I got a plan for you, son. He said, Dad, that's not Charlie's plan. And you know what? I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him. And
two things I want you to remember here. You may have caught that, but he said, I was watching. And the minute Charlie got shot, he called, and Mikey McCoy says to his dad, Charlie's been shot, pray for him. He says the minute, maybe he's being a little hyperbolic. We're going to find out. I'd certainly like to find out.
Okay, this is kind of grasping at straws. I need some evidence. Is she going to get to that? Let's see.
Out. But he stops and stuff. He says, I was watching. Watching what exactly? What were you watching? I remember that. It's rubbing me the wrong way. And I'm going to tell you why that's rubbing me the wrong way in a little bit. But the bigger thing is that he says Mikey had blood all over him. Except Mikey did not have blood anywhere near him because Mikey was behind the tent when Charlie got shot. And Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in. So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip slow down so you can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise?
I don't know. You might call 911.
Timing so important.
Okay, I need to just keep a doc. I'm going to do a Google Doc here. I'm going to take notes. We're going to talk about what is the evidence. Evidence. Man puts phone to his ear. Okay.
Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial. Okay. You can't dial and put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. The next time that you're going to see Mikey McCoy, as we just showed you, is in just under 2.5.
Okay. But if I wanted to call someone, what I would do is I would look at my call log, and usually that's kind of how I call if I don't feel like searching for a contact. I open the call log and usually they're on like my last few calls, because you kind of call the same people,
Half seconds on the other side of the tent. He's on a phone call. So we can track Mikey, but let's watch the clip again in milliseconds so you really grasp how quickly this transpires. So when this clip was brought, there we go, we're tracking that. Yeah, when the clip was brought to my attention, I obviously have a file, I have a big folder of files of every angle, and I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it, and he did at some point put that phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one, I don't know. Maybe we missed it, because that seems automatic, right? 0.834, that seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that. We even have him in front of Charlie's car. When Charlie is brought to the car, the waiting car rather, he is still on the phone. I can show you the clip of that. Take a look at this. Don't worry, we'll slow it down for you. See him in the background with the backpack. It's Mickey McCoy. Okay. So what are we to make of that? The only logical conclusion that I can come up with, and many others, because I said play devil's advocate. I want you to advocate for Mikey McCoy. I want you to play lawyer, and you are representing your client, Mikey McCoy. What was he? How did he do it this quickly? No one could win this game. The only logical conclusion we come up with was that Mikey was already on a phone call at 12:23 p.m. By 12:23 p.m., he was already on a phone call. So I said, let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone and begin a call before the shot takes off. And then after beginning that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot. And we were able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here. You see Mikey's on his phone here, and you're going to see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a
Yeah, that's unreal. I mean, you're at an allowed event.
guess here. That's what made the most sense to us because we couldn't justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything. Okay, I obviously...
Yeah, but the problem is Candance is kind of crazy, right? And, this kind of happened to me, not with Candance, a different situation. I'll give you an analogy. So there was a point where I had an accusation of being a colonizer and giving people slave contracts at my company. The truth was I made $0 off of any of these people. I actually lost more money than I made. And the more information I put out, the more the conspiracy theorists would any fact that I put out, they would find a way to make it fit their narrative. So obviously, if you're out accusing everyone of murder, no one's really going to want to work with you.